Our back to school feature continues as we continue live from San Diego. And why not have the Aztecs head coach on with us? Mark Martinez joining us from San Diego State. We've been visiting with as many college coaches as we can this offseason. Mark, great to see you and have you on the program.
Appreciate that, man. I really appreciate you guys having me on and looking forward to our discussion.
Yeah, man, we're here. We're in your backyard, and I want to hit you with this. You're entering your 9th season with the Aztecs. You replaced Tony Gwynn. You know, no big deal. No huge shoes to fill there, right? Tony replaced his coach at San Diego State, Jim Dietz, who was a legendary figure here locally. This is a job that doesn't turn over very often. That's one of the cooler aspects of what you do.
Well, I'm just super honored to have the opportunity. You know, I worked for 9 years with Tony before, I transitioned to the head coach job. And so I can tell you that, the San Diego State family takes care of their own, and that's kind of why I'm sitting here as the head coach, is Tony kind of set me up for success moving forward. His last couple of years, even there on the Mesa, it kind of was grooming me for this next step and put me in a position to have the opportunity I have right now. So I'm so thankful. I'm very lucky that Mr. Gwynn was in my life, Mr. Padre, for sure.
Tell you what, that campus has grown so much. You're your own city. You guys have your own zip code. I mean, that's a big school out there now at San Diego State. What's it, like 65,000 students?
I mean, if you count all the campuses, for sure. Locally here it's about 30,000. But it's been an unbelievable transition since I've gotten to San Diego State. It's 17 years of transition. We're one of the most applied to state schools in the country. We had over 100,000 applicants this past year to get into San Diego State. So that means we're very healthy and vibrant.
Who can fault you, man? I went to San Diego State before I transferred. I went to San Diego State out of high school. And what stands out to me was, I was just telling him this, I would ride to school on a bike, no-handed, and picking oranges off the tree, eating the oranges. I mean, the weather is like this all year round. It's beautiful.
Wait a minute. What are you talking about? You rode to school on a bike, picking oranges off trees as you got to your 8 a.m. assignment. Somebody please make that into a cartoon for me before I just die here. That is.
But now we know the secret to being a great infielder, right?
There it is.
There it is.
That's right. That's right.
I'm sure that one professor's wondering what happened to all his oranges.
Mark, I want to ask you about the history of the program in terms of players that you've put into the big leagues, and it's a nice history. I guess the guy at the top of the class right now is Ty France, but since you got to San Diego State, here's a partial list of some guys that you had at the collegiate level who have gone on to make an impact in Major League Baseball. There's always like one guy who you always know his school. And I guess that's Ty France for me, right? Because of his background with the Padres for a brief moment in time as well. This has to make you very proud to see this group of players.
Just not only just great players, but just that list right there is just quality character guys, just great human beings, guys that came into our school, made a difference, not just on the baseball field, but off the baseball field, character-wise, doing things right. Every one of those guys. A lot of those guys on that list also have their college degree currently, and that's a testament to their character and just, how they came to San Diego State, took advantage of their opportunity and parlayed that into a college degree, and now those guys are playing the big leagues. Kind of cool.
Yeah, we should say this. Keith Costas just hit me with this in my ear. That's a great note. Highest GPA in school history under your leadership. So that is clearly a point of emphasis for you.
Well, yeah, it was something that Tony and I talked about when I first got on the Mesa. One of the point of emphasis for us was to, how do we create a different culture? And one of it is based on the academics. And so we started, recruiting like-minded kids that wanted to graduate from college and have an opportunity to play in the big leagues.
That's really cool. A few weeks ago, or a week or so ago, we had Andy Stankiewicz at USC on. And I asked him a question about why college and not pro. Why are you in the college ranks? And he gave a profound answer. He said, I get to be with a kid 3 to 4 years. How important has that been? You just talked about the educational part, but even as a development and being around from a young man to a grown man, how's that development help?
Well, I'm telling you, it's just what we take great pride in is growing young people, and teaching them, kind of how to prepare for life, not just on the baseball field. And again, it goes back to recruiting the right kids that have those same ideals. They want to be well-rounded, and grow while they're at San Diego State. So those are guys that we're targeting. And again, those kids are having the opportunity to play in the big leagues. It's such a cool deal. And you know, you get the right kids. Again, you mentioned Ty France, but that, you know, that list, you know, with Greg Allen, Sebi Zavala, Alan Trejo, those guys are guys that came on the Mesa. They weren't the perfect game, you know, all-American dudes. You know, those are guys that took advantage of what we provided them there at San Diego State, that growth and development. Now they've parlayed that into a really cool opportunity.
Back to the GPA thing. I mean, San Diego State is a true college experience. You're gone to the beach in a heartbeat. So how do you keep these guys focused? Matt knows, you live here. The temptations of being able, so many great things to do in San Diego. How do you keep them focused in the classroom?
Well, I will say we do use that as a, you know, attraction to come to our school. Yeah, that's a pretty good deal. But at the same time, you know, any Division I athlete will tell you it doesn't matter if it's baseball, football. We demand a lot of their time. You know, they're very busy with school, you know, baseball, weights, community service, those kind of things. But we also carve out time so they can get to the beach and be regular college students. Go to a football game, go to our basketball team, you know, who's ranked in the top 25 and experience some of those things. So we do carve out some of that time, but they're very busy as well.
Hey, before we let you go, Mark, give us a little conference preview this year for the Aztecs. What are we looking for?
Well, you know, again, UNLV has a target on their back. They got a lot of returners. They won it last year. You know, San Jose State, surprisingly, they're a really good team. We had a bad year last year. It's one of those things that we stumbled a little bit, but, you know, kind of we feel like we're the marquee name in our conference, so we're going to go out and try and defend that and win the conference and play in postseason this year. For
you know, I did the College World Series for a number of years, and, you know, after 9/11, they kind of made it regional to get out of your regions.
Yeah. There's
so many schools in California that play great baseball. And then you got somebody creeping in out of the East Coast, and they end up in Omaha, and it's like, yeah, but you had 25 top-ranked teams in California you couldn't get through. How does that help with the competition?
Well, bottom line, again, you talk about just guys playing the big leagues. Those guys are all pretty much from the West Coast, right? So the baseball out here is really good, but you know, it's a tough out here in you know, the West Coast to try and get to the College World Series. Not only that, just to play on a Tuesday. You know, our Tuesday game, the layup games, you know, you're playing USC, UCLA, Long Beach, Fullerton. You know, those are household baseball names, and those are very difficult games to go out and play just on a Tuesday.
Mark, we appreciate the visit, man. Good to have you with us. Good to see you, and best of success with the Aztecs program moving forward.
Thanks for taking
Thank you very much.
Man.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much.